Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers, as you just heard on Fox News, has been banned for life from the NBA. Now there's going to be pressure to kick him out and to have him lose his ownership of the LA Clippers. But how does the NBA, how does a team like this get back on its feet, especially after something so nasty, these racist remarks? Well, we're joined by Jeremy Jobe, owner of Right Foot Media. He's a marketing expert to talk about what they can do next. Jeremy, thank you for joining us this evening.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Right Foot Media. How did you come up with that name?
Well, we want our clients to get off on the right foot. And quite frankly, it was rather serendipitous, really.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Have you ever had somebody come in to you as a client who's just gone through a bad situation, maybe like this?
Well, I'm a firm believer of that controversy does sell, and I do have a few clients that leaned on the edge of controversy within the industries that they work in, but I've never had anyone, no pun intended, but drop the ball this bad.
Okay, when you have a story like this that eclipses even the NBA playoffs, this is huge. How does that affect the image, and what kind of a marketing approach do you take moving forward?
Well, I mean, at this point, I think that the players of the Clippers did a fantastic job of showing solidarity for each other. The protests that they made clearly showed that this was not an opinion of the Clippers as a team. It was an opinion of the owner of the team. And now with the NBA coming back and levying such huge punishments, if you will, towards Donald Sterling, I don't think the Clippers are going to suffer too much as a team.
So let me ask you this. As the NBA, do you ignore this? Do you put it behind you? Or is it something that you kind of revisit and somehow talk about in public, this issue?
Well, I mean, I think the NBA has clearly not ignored it. I mean, by what Adam Silver said today in coming out with a lifetime ban, the $2.5 million fine, and then from there on top of that to come back and say that they're looking for other punishments to come down the pike. I mean, you know, they're actually talking about forcing him to sell his team.
Right. I guess I'm talking about moving forward on a marketing level. Is this an issue that you try to basically put aside as quickly as you can?
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, there's, you know, if it were something that happened with the coach and the team members, and they were responsible for such craziness, then obviously there's going to be a long road that they're going to walk from a marketing perspective. But realistically, as long as Donald Sterling's name is removed as quickly as possible, the new news is going to run this over quickly, and you know the Clippers are going to be the Clippers again.
So, in a case like this, then, is there any kind of larger impact on image to a brand like the NBA and the Clippers?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is the owner of the team. Again, I think that's why Adam Silver and the other folks at the NBA Association are coming together and coming up with a better, with more punishment. They're looking to see him sell his team and completely divorce himself from the team and from the NBA. So,
I'm talking to Jeremy Jobe, owner of Right Foot Media. The website is rightfootmedia.com. So when you've got a client and you're putting together a marketing approach, how do you go about it? What are the initial steps you're looking at?
Now, when you say as far as how do we cover a debacle like this, or just in general?
No, let's take a debacle like this. I mean, if you were in this situation, the NBA brought you in, what kinds of marketing steps would you take right now?
Well, the first thing I would do is make sure that we get out as much of a message as possible and letting people know that the overall organization of the Clippers is not associated with these comments, and does not condone them in any way, shape, or form.
How do you do that? Do you just go through the media, or do you put commercials out, or how would you approach it?
Oh, in this day and age of modern marketing, there is a litany of directions we could go. We could go certainly with social media and going after every one of the major channels out there. Then, of course, a good solid PR campaign and making sure that our spokespeople make their rounds across the radio stations, television stations, newspapers. We can also align ourselves with fellow bloggers for the NBA and fellow basketball fans, making sure that they're sharing the same message that we're trying to present. I mean, there's just so many different angles. And of course, on their website, I would make sure that I devoted the homepage to an apology and to a correction of such heinous comments.
Really, how much of your efforts are directed towards the internet nowadays as compared to television and radio?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, most companies out there don't have just a bucket full of cash behind them. So the internet is definitely a much better route. With the many splinters that exist of internet marketing, it's so much easier to find an affordable path, but yet a still effective path in marketing online.
Well, and you said, do you ever reach out to bloggers yourself in your own marketing campaigns?
Oh yeah. We reach out to bloggers for the electronic cigarette industry. We reach out to bloggers for the mind mapping industry. It just really depends on which client we're dealing with.
Really? Is there you really think there's an effect from that, these bloggers?
Oh yeah. When you think about the fact that Google is re-indexing a search engine every 6 to 8 weeks, according to them, anyways, and then you realize that they're re-indexing blogs every 3 to 4 days. I mean, blogs are seen as some of the most relevant content out there, and some of the most organic content out there. So to have a blogger that has 200, 300, 400,000 followers, blog about your product or blog about your service, or even come out and help and blog about the apology that you're making for a mistake you made, can be exceptionally powerful.
What about radio? We're, of course, on the radio. So how much attention do you give the radio medium nowadays?
Well, see, I quite frankly love radio interviews. I mean, one of the things that I plan on doing is taking a copy of this particular interview, and I do this for all of my clients that are on the radio or television. We get a copy of that because there's no reason why it should be heard just once. We're in the world of YouTube, so why not take that video? Of course, give the credit to the radio station, which, by the way, thank you. And then from there, put that on a YouTube channel so that we can get more and more people to listen to it. I mean, the radio is just it's another medium by which people can use both offline and online.
And Jeremy, how long has Right Foot Media been around?
We've been around for 4 years.
4 years, okay. And in terms of client base, how big would you say it is right now?
We're a boutique firm. We keep ourselves small for a reason, because in essence, we become the de facto marketing department for our clients. We have a client base of 15 clients that span from Australia, Argentina, Portugal, all across the United States, and just about every industry you can imagine.
Okay. What would you say the primary industries you're focused on right now?
I think the guys that I'm working the hardest for right now are my e-cigarette clients, because of the FDA changes that are happening with their products and just the explosive nature of their business. Also, mind mapping software is another one that I'm working rather aggressively with. We have a Texas distillery that we're also working with as far as helping them to create their brand and launch their products.
I mean, that's tricky with e-cigarettes. It's one of those things where some people have issues with it, obviously. I mean, how do you deal in terms of that? How do you deal with that image issue, especially with the FDA and critics saying that, hey, these are being marketed to kids? How do you combat that?
That's a good question. I think in certain cases you have irresponsible actors on the field that are marketing in a way that is cartoony, and marketing in a way that does not really put children, doesn't really concern themselves with children being the consumers. But I also see this, I mean, it really is a bittersweet type of industry, because yes, it has its dangers, I guess. Keep in mind that we haven't seen enough study to really definitively say where the danger lies. So it has also proven itself to be a different alternative to smoking. I mean, I'm a living example. I smoked for 23 years, and I haven't had a cigarette in over a year, and I feel great.
No kidding. So did you smoke these e-cigarettes for a while yourself? Or?
Yeah. Ever since I picked up my clients, he basically came to me and said, Jeremy, how can you smoke dirty cigarettes and represent us? So I took it to heart, and from there, I gave it a try. And man, like I said, 23 years, and I haven't had a cigarette in over a year now. 23 years of smoking, and you're not tempted to go back. These e-cigarettes actually hit the spot? Oh God, are you kidding me? Between my children telling me that I don't stink anymore, and between the fact that I don't cough, I can breathe. No, there's wild horses couldn't drag me back to a pack of cigarettes.
Jeremy Jobe is the owner of Right Foot Media, the website, rightfootmedia.com. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. If you ever need anything else, give me a call.
Absolutely.